Okay, this is a quick video about the sum and difference identities. There's a sum and difference for cosine, sine, and tangent, and I'm just laying them out for you. Here they are. For the most part, these are easier just to go ahead and memorize them, have them in the back of your head. You can derive these using basic identities and whatnot. It takes a little algebra. But you can get there. I think if you were relying on that to get you through a test or get you through a problem, that it would just complicate things. So really, if you take a look at it, it's fairly repetitive, and if you just remember which one's which, it's fairly simple. For instance, when you're dealing with the cosine sum, the two cosines are here and the two sines are here. So it's the cosine is cosine minus sine. So if you're adding, you subtract them. It's cosine sine. AB. If you're subtracting, exactly the same, cosine sine, but you add them. So once you've got one, the other is just kind of the opposite. And sine is the same way. Sine has a couple differences. One, you do sine cosine sine. Keep the AB. The other way to do that would be to flip the AB over here and keep it sine cosine, but I think that's even more complicated. So just remember that it's AB always for all of these, and here it's sine cosine sine. If you're adding, you're adding. These are the same. Again, same pattern, sine cosine sine, but if you're subtracting, you're subtracting. So once you kind of see the patterns and the fact that they're all very similar, I think just remember what's different about them, and then you can then you can remember these or recall them fairly easily. Tangent, for some reason I always think the tangent one's the easy one. When we're adding, the numerators are adding, okay, and it's all tangent. That's the cool thing about the tangent identities, is that you're not mixing sine and cosine or any other trig identity. If you're doing a tangent of a sum, everything is a tangent, and you just got to remember this pattern. And if you add in the top, you subtract in the bottom. If you subtracting, you subtract in the top and add in the bottom. So they're really fairly simple. These aren't the worst thing you have to memorize. We've got a few more to add to this pile, but it's not a whole lot. We're really about to the end of all the identities that we have to really remember and know. And then once we start doing some problems, these things will sort of come a lot more naturally, be a lot quicker. And a lot of students, usually once they get a little practice at doing some of these identity problems, actually think they're kind of fun and aren't intimidated by them at all. And they kind of like, bring them on. Let's put some on the final, because those are definitely problems you can get through. So that's the sum and difference identities. We'll see in future videos, we'll take advantage of some of these, and we'll show you how they work.